What is going on, guys? My name is Alex, Mr. Snitchy. Happy Wednesday to you all. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the BAR or Browning Automatic Rifle 1918, the trench variant, the storm variant, and the telescopic variant. Once we're done with all that, we're going to compare the trench variant of the BAR to the Lewis gun low weight, and we'll see who, in my opinion, is the better weapon. Subscribe, comment down below, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the video. So the first thing we're going to look at is the trench variant. This weapon does 21 damage at max out to 20 meters, and then you have a 5-meter damage drop off. So by the time you hit 25 meters, you're doing 19 damage a bullet, meaning that out to 22 meters is a 5-shot kill, and 23 and above is a 6-shot kill. The fire rate on this weapon is top of the class at 600 rounds a minute. The muzzle velocity is second highest in the class, only beaten out by the Madsen at 820 meters a second. However, even though it has the fastest fire rate in the class, it has the lowest magazine capacity in the class at just 20 rounds. Your reload on this weapon is okay, with 3.2 seconds if it's completely empty, and 2.9 seconds if there's anything left in the magazine. As I said in most of the other guides, I say try to do a halfway or partial reload. However, with this weapon it's kind of hard to do. Just because it fires so fast, you think that you have more rounds in the magazine than you actually do, which has happened to me a lot, or I'll just dump it on like 1 or 2 people, and the reload isn't that much of a difference. It's just helpful if you keep it in mind thinking, I'm using more bullets than I actually am. The recoil on this weapon kicks like a mule, worse than any other weapon in the class. It has a 0.4 up and a 0.26 left and right with a first shot multiplier of 1.7. You do have a spread decrease of 0.12 per bullet. That's both on your hip fire spreading and your cone that you have when you ADS, just like any other LMG that I've talked about. The ADS on this weapon is middle of the road, and if you're not moving it's 24 milliseconds, and if you are moving it's 56 milliseconds. The iron sights of this weapon are pretty bad. I would just slap an AA sight on there, they go right over where the existing iron sights are. You get a much better sight picture, and it's easier to hit just people in general. Well, let's move on to the next variant, the storm variant. So the only real difference between the storm variant and the trench variant is the recoil. It has the same sight picture, same damage model, same every basic set that I talked about in the last section. Just it receives a 70% reduction in recoil. It has a 0.28 up and a 0.182 left and right. So without wasting any more of you guys' time, let's move on to the third and final variant, the telescopic variant. So our third and final variant of the BAR is the telescopic variant. This really only has a handful of changes. It still retains the same damage model as the other 2 variants, however, it has the same recoil pattern as the trench variant with the 0.4 up and the 0.26 left and right. Still, this first shot multiplier is still the same of 1.7. However, the non-moving ADS actually dropped to 16 milliseconds, but the moving S still stays the same at 56 milliseconds. A couple other changes that you might notice is that one, it has a telescopic sight on there, so you can go for long range shots if you want, and it also has a bipod to kind of emphasize its role in the long range encounters, which you guys can see me going for in a couple of these clips. I would personally say if you're feeling like, okay, this is a bit far, just pull out a bipod and just wait for the person to run past. Well, let's move on to the last and final section of our video, which is going to be our comparison between the BAR and the Lewis gun. When we compare the BAR and the Lewis gun, we're really looking at 2 different sides of a coin. The BAR is really more suited for the close range engagements, being that it has 120 rounds a minute over the Lewis gun. It has a better muzzle velocity, it has a faster reload time. This gun shines in close quarters combat. However, on the other side of the coin, the Lewis gun is better suited for medium and longer range engagements. Even though it does take 1 more shot than the BAR at those ranges, you have 27 more rounds in the Lewis gun to make your shots count. If you're using the BAR at those distances, you might have to reload a couple times, and by then that person might be either dead or have run away. So in my opinion, it's really all about what you're going for. If you want to go close quarters, take a BAR trench or storm. If you want to go for medium or long range combat, use the Lewis gun. Use a gun that's better suited for that. Well, if you guys liked the video, do everything I said in the beginning. Subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff. And remember, snitches get stitches.